Hey,
We
Alan.
do. We do.
Hey, Alan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, there's an
just,
echo.
can you do me a favor? Can you email me a participant link as well?
I can a second. Hang on. Let me just. That's going there. The registration URL there.
Okay, what are you laughing about? I'm missing something, Sunita.
You'll know in a little bit. I'll explain to everybody when I announce
Okay. Good morning. Oh, I'm being asked for a phone number to. Okay, so the phone number for today.
You got to type it in.
Yeah, there were several.
Okay.
Okay, I can send that as a reply.
Thanks.
Whoever is signed in as Ma Ka, nobody can hear anyone except the panelists. This is a webinar platform. So we will be the ones doing the speaking, and people can ask their questions through the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen. So at the bottom of my screen, sometimes it's on the side of the screen, but it's got some little bubbles next to it and says Q&A.
Okay, we're going to be starting in a minute or two. I see a couple of people with raised hands. That's only please use the raised hand if you need to get hold of me for technical support. The other, sorry, shut my door for some noise in there. So if you need the technical support, please do that. Please use chat to communicate with me only. Again, for technical support, pour all your questions into the Q&A. Couple of tips when doing that. Please make it a full question. Don't just throw a couple of words in there, because we can often work out what you're saying. Please identify whether it's related to the PPE, the IDLE, the iBank loans, or something specifically what it's about. And also, before you put a question in, two things. One, maybe think about waiting for the presentation to finish, because you may well find that question is answered in the presentation. And the second thing to do is look at the questions that have already been put in, because there's a good chance that somebody's already asked a question like that. And if you put an upvote on that, which by clicking the little thumbs up button, then those ones will get to the top. We normally, during these sessions, we don't get a chance to answer anything like all the questions. The ones that get the highest chance of being answered are the ones that have floated to the top by lots of upvotes, because it means that other people are also interested in the getting the answer to that. So we're pretty much ready. Let me just do a couple of things to make things ready so that Scott can show his screen to the rest of the world. Scott, ready when you are, and I think you were good. We're recording, and in fact, let me just quickly stop the recording and restart it so we've got a nice clean one. Okay, and record back to the cloud. And we're going. Go ahead, Scott.
All right. Good morning and welcome. My name is Scott Rogowski with Northern California SBDC Network, Small Business Development Center Network. Really excited to. I'm really excited that it's Friday and it's April 24th, and we are in the home stretch of the month of April and getting through this for our first full month. And so, yeah, welcome. Thanks for joining. I'm going to be on this call from 10:30 to 11, where you can see me face to face, and then I'm going to jump off and then jump into a phone call. But I will still be around for a Q&A. But we have a really good team on board that is going to run our Q&A, and that's Ann Johnson-Stronsberg from Northern California SBDC region as well. And then we also have Sunita Maharaj. She's the Associate Director of the Northern California Finance Center for SBDC. So Northern California SBDC, we are funded by SBA, Small Business Administration, and because of that, it's your federal tax dollars at work. There's no cost to you as a business owner or an organization to work with us. We're also funded by the state of California, the Economic Development of the Governor's Office called GoBiz. We are a no-cost one-on-one consulting firm for you and your organizations to help you work through these disaster loans, since that's what we're really focusing on right now. And part of the Finance Center is part of Northern California SBDC, and we specialize in helping businesses access capital. Sorry, I don't know why it keeps going back and forth. For Northern California SBDC, we cover the 38 northern counties of the state. We go down from the Oregon border down the coast to Santa Cruz, cover all 9 counties of the Bay Area. Southeast is Stockton, then back up through Nevada and Oregon border. So large territory. So thanks for joining us today. We have a couple disclaimers. You know, things are changing all the time. When we put this together, it was correct, but things are changing all the time. Please don't hesitate to apply for the EIDL or the PPP when it comes available again. We're going to go into that a little bit. Always check with your investors or partners of your company. If you have multiple investors, they may or may not want you to apply for these loans. We do not have access to check on the status of your submitted SBA loan. So please be patient, but we can kind of help you fill out the additional forms, which we're going to go over. So also SBA states that all the loans that were in the queue after March 29th that were in the queue before the funds were shut off or the web portal was shut down, your loan is going to be processed. You just need to be a little bit patient. All right, so there's new funding coming Monday, signed today. House passed it, President signed it this morning, and here it is. So it is a total of $380 billion for small business lending. The PPP is going to get about $320 billion. $260 billion is open to all businesses. $60 billion of that $320 is going to be broken down between $30 billion for community-based lenders, small banks, credit unions, $30 billion for mid-sized banks and credit unions. And what that is, so $260 billion is going to go to the regular 7A big bank, small bank lenders that you bank with. The other $60 billion is going to go to, most of them are going to be non-bank lenders, like mission-based lenders, minority-based lenders, underserved-based lenders, CDFIs, certified development financial institutions, and other micro-loan programs are going to be administering these loans as well, starting Monday. EIDL loan, the economic injury disaster loan, is going to get $60 billion of the $380 billion total. So $60 billion by itself. $50 billion is going to be set aside for loan reserves, and $10 billion is going to be for the advance, which is that forgivable part, up to $10,000 for 10 or more employees, and $1,000 for every employee under 10. And if you're a sole proprietor, $1,000 for you. All right. So forms needed for the PPP. So even though the new money does not come until Monday, you can still apply at your existing bank, at another non-lender, a lender that you do not bank with, but will take non-customers, which we'll go over those as well. So you don't have to bank with them. They're non-banks that are offering non-customer loans, which is really awesome. So the forms needed for the PPP, which you can apply today, either at your bank or call your bank and say, hey, do I have a loan number assigned because I'm in the queue? Do I have a loan number? Depending on where you are in the waiting list, if it's a big bank, you could be 100,000, you could be number 100,001, and it may make sense for you to either withdraw or go to another lender, like one that we're going to mention, that only has about 500 in the queue. So you have to kind of make those decisions. At the SBDC, we can help you make those decisions and help you find the right funding for you at no cost. There's a universal form for the PPP loan that you can get on the Treasury's website, or we can email it to you at this email. Sole proprietors need to get together their 2019 1099s. All other entities need to get together all their 2019 W-2s, 941s, or 940s, depending on what your quarterly reports are for your payroll. Sole proprietors, we begin a lot of questions on how to calculate the loan amount. Anybody that is a sole proprietor is somebody that schedules files a Schedule C. As an individual, we all file a 1040 in the state of California. There's a Schedule C if you own, like if you're a sole proprietor or you're self-employed or you have a side hustle or a side gig, you would have a Schedule C if you properly documented it. Anybody that has Airbnb, Uber, or Lyft, or a hairstylist or a realtor, you are more than likely a 1099 Schedule C individual. And this is how you, this is how you calculate your loan amount. It's line 31 on your Schedule C. Sorry. Going super fast. All right. So line 31, you can divide it by 12, calculate your loan amount. Forgivability, it's line 31 divided by 52 weeks times 8. Here's some list of lenders that may or may not be banks, where you don't have to deposit money, but they will lend to you if you're a non-customer or you don't have a loan with them. They'll still lend to you. If these aren't good enough for you or you want more, you can go to sba.gov and /paycheck protection/find and enter your zip codes, and you can find some lenders near you. But these are the ones that we've vetted, that we've talked to, that we work with, that are a couple of these are online only because, for example, Lendistry does not have a brick and mortar in Northern California. They're in Southern California, but they're doing statewide loans. T-Bank is what's known as Texas Bank. They're not here in California, but they lend nationally and they can help you. Poppy Bank is a local bank. They're based out of Santa Rosa, but they have locations in Placer County. So we have access to these lenders. All these lenders are doing non-customer loans for Triple P.
Scott, just a note, somebody popped into the chat a message that they actually spoke with someone at Poppy Bank yesterday and they're not taking any more applications.
That's exciting. It's good to know. Look at that one of those disclaimers that we put on here, that things
change all the time.
All the time. Yep. So that's one of them. So just take Poppy out. Just draw a little line in between Poppy, but all the other ones that we know of are offering it. Yeah. All right. So those are the Triple P stuff. The EIDL, economic injury disaster loan. Once you apply, or if you have applied May 29th and forward, then you are in the queue. Your loan request is going to be processed. You do not need to reapply. If you have a loan number that is a 36 or starts with a 3, then you are good. If you have not had any communication from SBA, it is going to be coming. Please check your spam. If you're not sure if what you received in the email is valid or not, or a scam, please email it to us or somebody you're working with SBDC, and we'll get it validated for you to confirm if it's real or not. The other forms that may or may not be asked from you as you apply for the economic injury disaster loan are these forms here. The one that we are most privy to, where we have heard that they are asking for, is the 413D, and that is your personal financial statement. This needs to be completed by all business owners over 20%. The 2202 and the 1368 may or may not be asked for. Depending on how much money you qualify for, the 4506T may be asked for. Depends if the IRS is open for us to, or for the SBA to request those documents on your behalf. But right now, we heard yesterday that the 413D is probably a must, that they are going to be asking for. And we have these forms. We can form to you. We can't sit down with you because we're not allowed to come outside, but we can do a Zoom or a Skype, or we can call you or chat with you. We can help you fill these out for you over the phone with you. And we can do that for you, no cost. All right, so California State, specific to California, there's been a lot of different renditions or parameters around this loan program. They have been changing daily, and I'm sure they're going to change again next week when they launch. But as of today, if you are ineligible or you are disqualified for an EIDL or a Triple P for one of these 5 reasons here, or you did receive a decline letter from them for a different reason, then that means you disqualify for that loan program. If that is the case and you're one of these 5 things, either you have credit issues and EIDL declined you, or you have a non-US ID, or you are 501c6, or you don't have any payroll and it's not working out for you, or if you have any delinquency on federal loan liens, whether it be a student loan or another SBA loan. The state guarantee loan is different from the federal guarantee. Federal is SBA, state is iBank. And all you have to know is iBank is under the Governor's Office of Economic Development called GoBiz. I like to call it Invisible Bank because we're not sure where it's at, but it's a state guarantee bank product. And if you are ineligible for the EIDL and Triple P because you're one of these 5 things, or you received a decline, then you can qualify up to a $50,000 microloan fund. And if you want to know how to apply for that, at this moment in time, it's not very clear, but we're told to tell you to go to ibank.ca.gov. If you are looking for more than $50,000 and you are ineligible for these other 2, you can get up to $1 million in state guarantee loan funds through financial development corporations. These are monies. Both of these are monies that come from lenders, just like the Triple P. The EIDL loan comes from SBA directly, but these loans, state guarantee, they come from lenders, everyday lenders that you may or may not bank with, or right down the street from you, and they fund the deal, and then iBank will guarantee it, just like SBA is guaranteeing the Triple P loans. So if you're Solano South, you can email this gentleman, Chris Horton. He's one of our advisors on the Finance Center team, also does some work for NorCal FDC. They are a financial development corporation in Oakland. So they can help you with both these loans, especially the $1 million ones. And then YOLO North, if you want to find out information about these loans up to 50 or up to $1 million, you can email us at loans@asksbdc.com. All right, so this is, Alan's going to send this out to you so that you can have access to this. We don't need to spend a lot of time, but if you're going to try to go get other loans, whether you're sustaining or you're eventually going to reopen your business if it's closed, you may need to gather all your financials, and we can help you with that. We know CPAs and bookkeepers and tax accountants are really busy right now, but we're not that busy. So we're open for business. We staffed up. We're ready to help you at no cost. We're training new people as we speak to be able to help you collect these financials, understand the financials, structure them so lenders will want to lend to you, tell the great story, help you with projections, and help you understand what you're trying to apply for and what you're trying to accomplish. We can help you with that at no cost. All right, so we're going to go into Q&A. Anne's going to run some questions and answers. We're going to do our best to get to all of them. If we don't get to all of them, which we probably won't, you can email us, you can call us, you can jump off this call, and you can call us right now. You can email us. You can actually go to asksbdc.com, and this is being live streamed as we talk. There's also a chat box inside asksbdc.com. There's a lot of great things that we're doing to interact with you at no cost. If you have questions around loans, you can email us. If you have questions around anything regarding Spanish speaking, or you can email us at espanol@asksbdc.com. And then also, if you need to get a hold of SBA Disaster, this is for the EIDL loan or the EIDL advance, you could call this number. It's best if you call on the weekends because nobody's really calling on the weekends. Or you can email them at this email right here. So lots of great information. We are here for you, again, at no cost. You can go to your local SBDC, or you can reach out to us here right here. So thank you very much. And now Anne will go into Q&A.
Thank you, Scott. My name is Ann Johnson-Stromberg. I'm the Associate Region Director for the NorCal programs side of our network, and I am really happy to be able to answer or help pose some questions to our team of advisors. And then, of course, Alan, our British invader, is always helping us answer questions through the chat. Make sure you answer or put your questions in the Q&A section, or vote up other people's questions. And if you have a statement rather than a question, I may not read it. There's a couple thank yous in there. So team, just know that our efforts are appreciated. That's awesome. Holly is asking, when do you think SBA will start processing EIDL? There was a mention of Monday for the PPP. Does that apply to IDLE as well?
So from the intel that I have, I'm not sure if SBA is on the phone, but my intel is that IDLE is going to relaunch, the web portal is going to relaunch Monday. But with that said, if you wake up Monday and you try to click on the link and it doesn't open, then guess what? We're going to talk to you again at 10:30 on Monday and we can talk about it. But it's supposed to launch on Monday. But if you're in the queue, you don't need to reapply. This is something that's been misguided. Just because you haven't heard from March 29th till today, because they're trying to go through 14 years of transactions in 2 days or 1 month. So there's a lot to go through. But yeah, if you have not applied or you were declined and you want to reapply, Monday's supposed to be the day.
Great. So for those people who are asking about owners' wages and PPP, we answer these on every call, but Sunita, can you just clarify what people can do to pay themselves? The question from Christopher is, do my wages as owner count towards PPP forgiveness in my 8-week period?
It does if you can validate that that income. So are you receiving a W-2? Do you have a 1099 that you're providing yourself? If you are a Schedule C, then you would go down to line 31, and that would be the income for the year. Divide it by 12, and that's what your average is for the month, for a month. So I did have a screen further up, which we'll be sending this out to you, and it tells you exactly how to calculate your income. If it is negative income, then yes, it'll be negative. So they have no income to be able to give you for the PPP, but that doesn't mean that you couldn't apply for the IDLE when the IDLE portal is up.
Okay. Hugh is saying that the majority of the programs that we're talking about are loans, and that the amount that's forgivable is minimal, and that, you know, obviously everyone is very concerned about acquiring more debt. Are there other grants that you've heard of that may be coming open that people can apply for?
We have not heard of any other grants except for Kiva, K-I-V-A. They're doing loans up to $15,000 at 0%. So it's not a grant, but there is no percentage APR. But outside of that, I have not heard of anything else. Our team and I could do more research on that and do a better job. So we could potentially have some stuff for you next week, but I'm not sure if Sunita has anything else to add to that.
There might be local, so your city may have something, but it's very localized. If you do not have your business in that city, then you cannot apply for it. So you would have to go to the city websites and see, because these things are happening all the time. Today they can open, and then by the afternoon it's gone, especially if it's on the news, and that money's gone pretty fast. But I would check every day in the morning, check with your local city on their websites, and it should be on there if they have any grants or low cost loans. And they're usually around, I don't know, the loans go from like maybe 15,000 to 10,000 or grants for that, for people.
Right. And Facebook also has some grants. And so I did send that to you, Sunita. And let me just tell everybody what these are. There's only a handful of counties that can apply for these Facebook grants. They are small. They're up to $4,000. Again, it's not going to be something that is much more than a Band-Aid for a lot of our businesses that we're working with. I apologize for my dogs barking in the background. Let's see. 5 counties in the Bay Area they're looking to support, including San Francisco, San Mateo, Santa Clara,
I believe Alameda was one of them.
Alameda, and was Contra Costa also one? I can't find the counties now, darn it.
I believe so. And they may have limited it because this did go live a couple of days ago. So people are on these grants pretty quickly. And part of the grant is advertising on Facebook. So there are things coming about. We will try to put that information online at our asksbdc.com so that you have it readily available as well.
Okay, I'm also going to put it in the chat window for all of you. Really quick, there is a application location here at this link. So they're up to $4,000. They have language support in Spanish and Mandarin. 2,500 is in cash, and 1,500 would be an ad credit. So those are the only things that we've heard of so far, but we will continue to look for more items like that.
And quite quickly, Scott had to jump off, but we're trying to find out if the phone number he's called in on. So Scott, is that you? Call in user 3? It isn't. Nope. Okay, I will remove that ability. Okay, if I see your number come in, Scott, I'll let you know.
Okay. So Ranjit is saying we had submitted an EIDL application on March 19th and have a loan number from SBA. We were told to resubmit the application when the portal opens up. Is it possible to see if the original loan number could at least be considered to put ahead in the queue? Any idea on that, Sunita?
So what I would do is I would email them with your loan number and also your name in the subject line and ask them that question. Since you were not able to put your new application in through the portal before it closed, if there was a possibility to do that or not. I don't know for sure, but it'd be definitely great to ask. The other thing too, if you are not a client yet, please sign up with SBDC because we can also try and help and see if we can get those answers from you for you with them. So it's hard to answer it now since they're not on the call. And also if you have an advisor, they can also see if they can kind of, get somebody there, get an answer for you also.
Yeah. Just so that you're all aware of how to apply for SBDC services, please go to norcalsbdc.org and type in your zip code, or go to our new site specifically for COVID that will direct you there as well, which is the asksbdc.com, and look for a service center near you. Dana is worried that she may struggle to spend the PPP in the time allotted due to decrease in service demand that their company is facing. Can we give raises to all of our employees included in those are the two owners to meet the need?
SBA said yesterday that you can increase your employees' rate of pay. Now, if it's all going to go to the owners, then there may be issue with that, but I don't know for sure because there's supposed to be more guidance that comes out on that. Hopefully by next week, it may have been written in law or additional FAQs have come out. I skimmed through the FAQs today. I don't recall seeing anything specific to that, but maybe by Monday or next week, we'll get more information. But SBA yesterday did state that you can increase their pay.
Okay. So Shannon is saying in regards to PPP, I just received a new document from her lender at B of A that incorrectly is asking for a 1099 as an independent contractor. We're a sole proprietor, self-employed, and do not have a 1099. How can this be corrected? She's saying that she can't reach anyone at B of A.
I don't have a source for B of A because it is such a huge bank. And I don't know where all of this is going. I don't know if it's being funneled to, where exactly it's all being funneled to. The only thing I can say is to email them back and show them your Schedule C and attach your Schedule C and let them know that you don't have a 1099. You have to understand also that there are so many people at the banks that are helping. They may not be a normal loan person, so they may need additional guidance from their manager. So I would just email them back, provide them your Schedule C, let them know that there is no 1099, and if you can talk to somebody else, a lead person or a manager to help you.
Okay. So for those that are sole proprietors, no payroll, and they have subcontractors, what items can they apply for?
You can apply for both loans. You can apply for EIDL and you can apply for PPP. With the slide that you will receive that Scott had shown, the only way that you're going to be able to document your income is line 31 on your Schedule C. That is your income for the year. That would also be considered your draws for the year. If you cannot show it on line 31, then it's one of those things. Did it really happen type of thing, which I'm sure it did, but that's how they're looking at for documentation purposes.
Okay. Willie was asking whether or not there was any update on iBank funding. I think that everything that we had was shared already through Scott's slide, but.
Yes, so you can go to ibank.ca.gov, and towards the middle of the page, right after all of the how-tos, there are 3 banks currently listed. I believe one of them is not taking non-customers, but the other 2 are. So you can check with them directly. We can help you if you become a client, collect all of your documents to make sure everything is there so it's smooth when you submit your loan to them, but each lender will let you know exactly what their guidelines are for approval.
We'd like to remind folks to put your questions in the Q&A or upvote other people's, because people are trying to throw them in the chat and we can't handle both of those as well. So please use the Q&A.
Okay. Have we heard anything about changes with the PPP rules in terms of new allocation of funds?
I've heard there is a possibility of that, but we have not seen anything yet since it was just signed right before this call. Maybe by this evening we'll receive something, hopefully by Monday, since that's the day it's supposed to go live. So underline, bold, supposed to go live on Monday. Whatever information we do get, we'll put it, on SBDC, AskSBDC.com. So you'll have the most current information, and also on our call at 10:30, we'll try to give you the most current information, but I don't have anything that I can review with you right now that's actually been vetted.
Okay. Sunita, our center director in Santa Cruz is asking if a client puts an incorrect amount in the cost of goods for EIDL, how can that be adjusted? We were told by an SBA rep at the time of approval, when docs are uploaded and a conversion takes place with the signed up rep, it could be adjusted at the time with proper documentation.
That's correct, because your loan officer, your rep with SBA is going to review all the documents, and they're going to talk to you. And they're going to ask you if all this information is correct. And they're going to also ask you for additional information if it's needed. So this particular person may have to submit to them their full package, like we were saying. So their tax returns, their actual tax returns may have to be submitted, or their profit and loss statement. So that way they can validate that there was a mistake that happened. So that should be, the loan officer should be able to help them with that. So the SBA person that they talk to, that is absolutely correct.
Okay. Liang is saying, I've applied for EIDL PPP, EDD, and separately it says disaster loan assistance, but I'm assuming that she's speaking of EIDL, and waiting for the $1,200 per person grant from the government. Okay. But I have not received a single penny. Where can I address my complaint? We're a woman minority owned business. We received an application number and have had that in place for over 3 weeks now.
SBA is doing their best to be able to help everyone. I believe the statistics are in 14 days, they have received 14 years of applications. So something they would do in 1 year, they received in 1 day. So they are doing the best that they can. And I know this is a very scary situation for a lot of people, and I do apologize. I wish I had a better answer for you on when they will call you. I know that a lot of people that did apply 4 or 5 weeks ago are getting calls now. Some of my clients are, so please hang in there. With the EDD, that's supposed to go live, I believe, at the end of the month. They said at one point on the 28th for Schedule C 1099 people, but I don't know if that has been, if that's still is the go date or not. They may have to push it back. So I do apologize. I don't have any more information on that. But if you want to email them, SBA, you can email them and put your confirmation loan number in the subject line and your name of the business and ask the question, and they should be able to get back to you. Or you can give them a call tomorrow. It's much easier to get a hold of them on the weekends.
Okay. For people asking questions about whether or not they'll be eligible for unemployment, honestly, that is not our area of expertise. And so I'm not going to address those questions. I hope you understand. Those questions regarding EDD would have to go directly to themselves, to that organization. And do they have a website where they're taking questions, Sunita? Have you heard?
They're not taking questions, but there is Q&A. So it's going to be edd.ca.gov. I've been on there a couple of days ago. They had some Q&A there. I didn't see the date of the 28th anymore, but I may just have missed it to see what kind of updates that they have. But from everything that I've read so far, they are trying their best to have that go live next week, because they do understand. And it's going to be retro also. So it's not like you apply that day and then you only start that day. It did state that it would go retro. I don't recall the specific date, but it will go retro.
Okay. Catherine is asking if we could readdress the restrictions for the forgiveness of the $10,000 advance.
So the advance, whatever monies you get from the advance, that is the forgivable portion. So if you get $1,000 from the EIDL advance, that portion is forgivable. You don't have to document how what you did with the money. It should be spent on business purposes, but you don't have to document it like you do the PPP. The PPP, there is a possibility of it being forgivable, but you have to follow their guidelines. As of what we know at this moment, it's 75% or more should go towards payroll. And then, after that, you can use it for utilities, rent, or interest payments, not the principal, but just the interest. We do suggest that you use, if you can, all of it towards payroll. So that way, it'll be more likely chance of it being forgivable. Also keep really great records. Your bank is going to ask you to keep these records. If you want to keep it in a separate account, in your payroll account, you can do that too. So that way, when you're asked for the documentation, you'll be able to give it to them with no issue. So document, document, document.
Sunita, we've got a question from Dana asking if they can give a one-time bonus rather than a continual pay increase to spend down the money and honor those staff who've continued to work for them.
That is a great question. And I don't have a answer for that. I'm sorry. They are not, they have not given us real direction unless Scott knows the answer to that. I have not seen information in regards to giving a bonus to be able to pay that down. Hopefully they'll give us more information in regards to that once the updated FAQs come out next week.
Hey, this is Scott. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. So it's a great question. We'll probably have to parking lot it, but I do know this, that since they're pulling your Q4s for your 940s and your 941s, and you had some sort of bonus structure in there as a normal policy to pay your employees or bonus them, then what they're going to, and so if that's the case, then yes, you can bonus them in this 8-week period. What's not clear is how much you can bonus them. So if they take your quarterly reports for 2019 and see that you had 10,000 in bonuses, they're going to take they're actually going to look through all 2019 and see what your average monthly bonus is. And if you are in the parameters of that, and you're not like exorbitantly escalating it to another higher number, then you should be okay. And the reason why we keep saying you should be okay and it should be forgiven is we did not write the law. There is law paperwork we can share with you, but the lenders are the ones that are supposed to be able to tell you if it's forgivable or not. And they don't have those answers today, and they probably won't have them until another week or two. And I know that's not fair, but that's because last week was the first week that these loans even got funded. They're still trying to figure it all out. But if it was common practice and a common pattern for you to have commissions above payroll and bonuses above payroll, then you should be okay in that parameter to pay people in the 8 weeks.
Okay. So I guess the moral of that story is to just be careful. All right. Raj is asking, do we show PPP expenses starting from February 15 or only from after we get the payment?
From when you get your payment, that 8 weeks start date starts that day.
Okay. Chad is asking, what is the SEAP program? SEAP that the Freelancers Union emailed me about yesterday. It's a self-employed assistance program that he hadn't heard anything about. Anybody else hear about it?
I have
No,
not.
but you can yeah. I have not either, but you can email us, and if you could forward us that email so we can read it and learn it, that'd be awesome. We could also reach out to the people that help us with this research daily and see if they know about it.
Okay. Some of these questions I don't understand, so. Okay. Roger is asking, and I so apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name, is asking if PPP is approved, can I ask for a reduction of that amount?
Yes, you can. So you just need to directly speak to your lender or email them. I know it's hard to get a hold of them, but email your lender and let them know that you want a reduction in that amount. And then hopefully, you know, once it's up again, then they can do that. They can flip it and then give that money back. So it goes back into the pot.
Okay. The questions are mounting, guys, and I am cognizant of the time. And so I know I've only got 15 minutes left to answer your questions. Please vote up other people's questions. That would be really helpful for me here. Let's see. And make sure that you tell us if it's a PPP loan or an EIDL loan that you're asking the questions about. I've received my EIDL grant, but when do we find out if we qualify or get more working capital under this loan, and how do they calculate the amount that we get?
It's great that you did get your advance, so that means that you're going to go to the next stage. They have not told us time-wise what the lag time is between the grant and also the review of your complete file. Hopefully it's not going to be too long, maybe 2 weeks or so. They have not divulged to us how they're calculating your working capital. So unfortunately, I can't tell you. We thought there was a way that they did it previously, but I believe things have changed. So, and we can't get a rhyme or reason, unfortunately, when we do look at whoever has gotten their funds. We haven't had a way to back into it. So I don't want to tell you it's one specific way and then that's the way, you know, and then they end up not doing it that way. SBA did say yesterday that they had several different ways of calculating it. I don't know if it's regards to different business entities on how they do that. We just don't have that information, and I'm sorry that we don't. But if we ever do, then we would definitely let you know that. But if the underwriter, the loan officer calls you, when they call you and they offer you the money, they did state to go ahead and get that. If you need more, then you let them know after you receive the funds that you need more money and the reason why.
Dami is saying, regarding the EIDL, I read that anything over 25,000 needs collateral. Is that true?
I believe it changed. So anything under 200,000 does not require collateral. There's always going to be a personal guarantee. If there is no collateral, it does not decline your loan.
Okay. Catherine is saying, I have a student loan and my monthly payments have always been zero per month under income-based repayment. Is this going to disqualify me from EIDL? I got the advance, but apparently it doesn't mean I'll be approved, just that I'm in the queue.
Well, if there is no payment, then there's no payment. It's not that you've defaulted on the payment. If it's always been zero, then you're okay on that. It's not a default to the loan. It just means that you're in deferment. Not that
that's not a disqualifying or a disqualifying factor.
Right.
Okay. Let's see. Anybody who joined late and missed information, please look to the chat window where Alan posted the slides. Is that correct, Alan?
I will post the slides. I'll also post the recording information. So there's our YouTube where you can get to view the bits of this you missed. And here is the where you can go to download the PDF of the presentation.
Okay. Denise says, I applied for EIDL a couple weeks ago doing the fast track online application. However, I can't find a confirmation email. Do I need to reapply or just wait in here?
You would not have received an email on the new application portal starting the 30th. When you hit the submit button, that number is your confirmation number. So throughout the whole application process, the 5 pages, there's a number at the very top on the right side, and that was the number, that's your confirmation number. So hopefully you'll be able to find that number again, because that's how they'll be able to find you. If you need your confirmation number The only way that we've heard you might be able to get it is by calling SBA, and they might be able to find it, but it may not be far along enough for them to be able to pick up your loan quite yet. So maybe give it another week or two, and then hopefully it'll be far along enough for them to be able to pick it up. If you do receive the advance, it'll come wired to you. And like we've been telling people, you may not get an email, a call, or anything. It'll just show up into your bank account, and it'll be SBA D, so SBA disaster, and that would be the advance. So then you know they'll be able to find your loan number then. So then you can email them and let them know that you've misplaced it in case you need it. Or I'm sorry, call them because they need some other information that you don't want to put via email.
Okay. Lori is saying, to qualify for iBank, do you have to be ineligible for both EIDL and PPP?
That is correct. You can, yeah, it means you can't qualify for either loan. Then you are qualified to apply. It doesn't make you automatically qualified. It means that you can qualify to apply for their disaster loan, for the state disaster loans.
Okay. Okay. EM Hedrick is saying, instead of a one-time bonus, could you institute hazard pay, which would be higher and temporary?
That's a great question as well. If it is something that you gave in the past, then absolutely. It depends on how much the hazard pay is. So are you going to increase by each person? You know, that should be a question for your lender, because they're the ones that are going to end up being the ones that are letting you know if it's going to be forgivable or not. So they are the beholder of that money, and I would check with them.
Okay. Let's see. Liz is saying that a client received 10,000 EIDL advance from an early application, mistakenly used the temporary staff as employees, should have just been a sole proprietor, does not want a loan. How to return the $9,000?
If you are going to apply for the PPP, that money would be reduced by the $10,000. I know that SBA said yesterday that you can call the number or email and let them know that it was incorrect amount and see how to return it. You would have to wire it back to them, or maybe they'll let you know if you could just use it towards your PPP money, because then that amount would get reduced by $10,000. Those are the two options that I'm thinking of. There's nothing written, but that's kind of what I'm thinking out of the box with.
Okay. Ernesto is asking a question, and I'm going to go ahead and read it, but I'm not sure what exactly it means. So if you have like a specific situation that is too detailed for us to answer in these webinars, please contact your local SBDC. We can try to get those answers for you when we have more time, rather than coming up with the off-the-cuff answer. Ernesto is saying, I did not get funded the first round, and now received an email noting if I did not apply before the 8th of April, it's likely I will not get money. I called the corporate office trying to get info on status to ensure all has been submitted correctly. I'm assuming he means SBA. I'm not sure. Or the bank, maybe it's the corporate bank office. The bank stated they had no contact info, no email or phone number to give me a check to. Why is the process so magical? Who gets approved on what, and how do you get a loan? Does the DocuSign mean I'm in the loop?
That is, I mean, it could be the bank, it could be SBA. Well, I don't think it's SBA, but I don't know. They may have changed their systems on how to sign those documents. If the lender sent you the DocuSign document, then that means that is for the PPP. But just like Ann just said, please reach out to us. Please become a client for no fee. There's no charge for us to help you. We are here to help you, and you can get one-on-one personal time with our advisors, and they would love to be able to help you and go through all your questions. So please, or you can go to asksbdc.com or 833-ASK-SBDC and, speak to a live person today. They'll get you signed up and they'll be able to help you. So that'll be a great option.
I've put all of those contact information in the chat so that everybody could grab it, including what the numbers are for Ask SBDC.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We have one more question that I'm going to go ahead and put through, and I think it's really important. Ken says, how quickly will this round of PPP cash go away? Ken, honestly, your guess is as good as ours. Likely when people realize how quickly the last batch went, there's going to be even more people who apply this time around. So I would definitely be ready with your information.
Ken, if you have not put your application in yet, you need to, if you want to get in on this round, because there are banks that are taking applications right now, and they're taking non-customers. We have a whole page of banks, except for Poppy, that's not taking non-customers at this point in time. Lendistry, I believe, is still taking new customers as of yesterday. Check that page and apply right away, because you want to be in line, because this money, I don't know when it's going to go away, but I believe it'll be faster, because this is what everyone's doing, is they're waiting in line, and as soon as they're able to get their SBA number, that's exactly what they're doing with all their customers. So please get in line, talk to one of our advisors, and they'll help you figure out what the paperwork should be and look like, and just walk you through it.
So Ken had applied. He says, I applied at several banks. Is that a problem? And that's the reason why I wanted you to answer this question, because I know you had a great example of an issue yesterday.
I did. So one of our advisors emailed me and says, there's an issue because they can't get an SBA number. My question was, who else did they apply with? Because if one of your 5 or 10 banks that you applied with was the first person to get that number, then they're the ones that that has to contact you, or you have to contact them. The banks have been so busy that sometimes you don't even hear from them for a day or 2 or more. So you would have to contact every single bank and find out, do you have my SBA number? Are you going to do my loan? That's really where that is. So, if you applied for 2 places, not so bad. But if you applied at several places, then at this point, you don't know who collected your SBA number or not, because everybody else would get denied.
And it's possible that the person who collected an SBA number for you is not actually the lender that would be willing to do the loan. And because there are other lenders that are in line and interested in helping you, and they can't get an SBA number, they can't do the loan. So that's really a problem, right, Sunita?
Right. It is. Because if the larger bank got your number, hopefully you are in line and they'll be able to fund you. But I don't know for sure, because I don't know how many people they have waiting in line for the money, and they only get allotted a certain amount of money. And what that is, I don't know for each bank.
Great. We are going to wrap it up today. I hope you all have a good weekend. Please, if you haven't reached out to your local SBDC, go to asksbdc.com and find the local service center near you. Call us on our 1-833 Ask SBDC. We can answer questions through our online, through our phone system with a live person. And we will be back on Monday at 10:30 to do this again. So If you want to keep joining us, we're happy to have you. Just so you all know, next week, we will, because our funders require that we show proof that we had people participate. Our link will direct you to put in an email and phone number and name.
Already done that. I think it's already done that. So
Okay.
people noticed that this morning or today.
Okay, great. Just so you know, that information is not information that we'll use for anything else other than reporting. It's not information that we sell to anyone or contact outside of SBDC. So your information is safe with us. Thank you all. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, folks.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good weekend.